want to start by telling you how honored and grateful I am to be here. And I also want to take a minute to thank everyone, especially the Honorable Chief Minister, who has been absolutely amazing in his hospitality. And I'd like to take a minute, just please join me in a round of applause for him, if you would, please. Thank you so much. In addition to thanking him, before I get into why I'm here today, I also want to thank every other individual that I've crossed paths with in the short time I've been here, because I've never been so graciously welcomed anywhere, and I've never received such a level of hospitality and graciousness. Now, this has caused a problem for me back home, because I immediately called my wife and my staff, and I let them know from now on, anytime I enter a room, I expect to be greeted by beautiful flowers. It did not go over so well with the wife. But in all seriousness, it has been an absolute treat the last 2 days. The hospitality is something that I was just not quite expecting. And in addition to the hospitality, the other thing that has just candidly blown me away is the growth that I've seen and experienced just in the last 2 days here. And a lot of people know me from one of the most recent transactions that I've completed, and that was bringing public a platform in the States called True Social. And as many of you may know, True Social, our largest shareholder is Donald J. Trump. And I went from the originating CEO of that platform now into on the board of directors. And you may or may not know this, but when we decided to bring that company public, we came under attack from anyone that could find out who we were. We were under attack from our Department of Justice, from the SEC, any agency that had an acronym, we were under attack. And we had to fight over 2.5 years to get that transaction done. And now when somebody asks me, why did you do that? Why did you go through that fight? It wasn't about the money. I was a single father for around 20 years of two children, two beautiful daughters that are now grown. And it's hard to go back in time in your memory, but about 2.5 years ago, there were a lot of systems that were under attack by big tech and by government. And we were very close to a point when it was hard to find a platform that you could speak freely on. And I could not imagine leaving behind a place where my children could not have a platform that they could say what they wanted to say when they wanted to say. Because I believe that freedom of expression is one of the most fundamental rights for any human being. And without the ability to speak our minds and to speak, it leaves us with very few options to resort to. And so now that we've moved on from that investment and we're looking forward to our next stage of investing, we look at what are we looking to invest in and why are we looking to invest? And there's always, in my mind, 3 reasons that you would invest in a certain area or a certain platform. And while most people may say the number one most obvious answer is money, is investment returns, yes, that is one of them. That's why we all invest, but that's not the only one, and it's not the most important one, not for me. Any place that I'm going to spend my time and deploy capital of investors that entrust their capital to us, it's got to be in something that is meaningful, not just to me, but to the world, that can make a difference in the world, and not just a short-term difference, but a long-term difference. So that's number one, or number two, I guess. And then number 3, and I think this holds true for all capital around the world, capital will flow like water to the easiest place it can find to flow to. So when you're looking to make an investment, you look for a place where you know your investment will be received and well received and welcome. And what I've seen here in the last 2 days, after my good friend has been asking me to come here to visit for many months, and I had delayed, and now so grateful that I finally came, is that the Honorable Chief Minister has made it absolutely clear that our capital will be welcome here, and that he is open for business, and that this is a place that is on the rise. And if you go back 20 years from an outsider's perspective, sitting on the other side of the world in the United States, if you talked about India 20 years ago, in technology perspective, it was, oh, that's where the call center is now. And then as you move forward in time, and you start to look at who's developing the technology and who's working in the major technology companies around the world, you can't help but notice, wait a minute, a lot of this talent is coming out of India. And now you move forward to today, and you would be blind not to see that the technology capitalists around the world are coming from India. India is on the rise. And I don't think India is going to stop. I think India will continue to be on the rise and will lead the world in technology. And I think it's important that we find ways to invest together and to work together. And so I am very excited to have been presented the opportunity to come here. We have seen technologies here that I'm very excited to invest in. And I would like the Honorable Chief Minister to know that over the next 10 years, it is my intention to deploy through our organizations up to 1 lakh crores into the future city and into the areas of development here. And I'm very, very grateful for that opportunity. And I'm going to keep it short because I'm sure at this point everybody at some point wants to go on break or take a lunch. And so I always try to keep everything short. But I just want to close by saying thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so honorable for the hospitality. And I'm so humbled and grateful to share the stage with an absolute esteemed group of people. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you.